Hi, Cancer. I've just been listening to a recording I made this morning where I was shouting quite a lot. So I need to be careful with this microphone. Maybe I'll move it down a bit. I get excited and I talk too loudly. So tonight we are going, I would love to be on the roof, but I'm in a bit of pain. So I'm going to do it here instead, where I can sit more comfortably. It's a beautiful evening and the green of the trees starting to come is such a blessing. It's so wonderful. So we're going to do a prosperity reading for you. So just to see whether you want to stay for it, I've already laid the cards to see what prosperity looks like for you and what you need to consider in terms of prosperity. You've got some very sort of good manifesting energy and a kind of interesting outcome which we're going to cap. So it's a short read. It's just 6 cards and it's in a pyramid shape. And so here we go. We're going to dive in. You in relation to the idea of prosperity, the magician. What a great ally. It says to me that whoever I'm talking to here has great ability, an enormous will. Wow, he's just locked eyes with me. I've never really looked at the... he's never looked like that to me before. He's really locking eyes, the magician. And so what I'm feeling from this card tonight is incredible intent. Obviously, he has on that table everything he needs. The wand, the sword, the cup, the pentacle. The table's very solid, like the 4, which helps build structures like the emperor. And all the 4s, 4 of wands, 4 of pentacles, 4 of... all of them, even though some of them might feel a bit rigid, they are secure structures. And the magician has all of that, as well as this beautiful wreath that always reminds me of the one across the top of the Queen of Pentacles that sort of hangs off the top of the card. But it's really, he's got everything he needs, but it's his intention, and that's the magic ingredient, because we can... I often think I relate to that. When I know what I want, I'm unstoppable. And I believe that to be true for quite a lot of people, actually. I think that the knowing is the key thing. And it's not like, I want to be a millionaire, I want to win the lottery. I mean, I hope you do one day. I hope I do. It's not that it's impossible. It's just, you know, when you sort of lock onto something and you think, this is really for me. I know this is mine. Deep, deep inside, I know this is mine. That's the kind of will and intent that the magician has. I will go through hell and high water to make this happen. That's the magic ingredients of his spell. And this is you. This is you. So Cancer and... what are we going to call your other... nest people. I'm sort of obsessed with all the baby birds at the moment. So a nest, hatching eggs of prosperity for coming up to Easter. Yeah, so this is you. You are powerful in the idea of what prosperity means. You have the intent, you have all of the skills that you need to make money or abundance or prosperity or whatever that means to you, for you. How to achieve your aim. I love it. Very clear. 8 of Pentacles. Keep going with this artisanal skill, you know, just honing your skill over and over, working away, becoming better and better at what it is that you do. Don't give up. I mean, the 8 of Pentacles doesn't really give up because he's so loving what he's doing. His problem would be that he doesn't look up and take these things to market sometimes. Again, he's sitting on that bench, the 4, like the bench. It's interesting when I see him in relation to him. He's got a stable 4-legged structure as well. Could even be an extension. He could be sitting on the other end of the magician's table. I mean, obviously not really. He always makes me think of Will Ferrell, this depiction of him. But he's working away. I can see the brick behind the one that he's working on at the moment. That's interesting. There's a really strong structure behind what he's working on. Strong understanding, honing your skill. You can see a little rivet in the bench there, right at the corner. And then do you see this, the way where all the pentacles are, it's on something that feels like a tree. But do you know what else it feels like because of those lines? Those lines remind me of, I was really looking today at the Three of Pentacles. The artisan there, so somebody who's similar to this guy, is working on a wall, and it has those lines in it as well. So it's making a nod to the artisan there, and it's basically saying that you are an artisan. You are very good, and so how to achieve your aim in prosperity is to continue to hone this craft, continue working on what you're so good at. I love it. There's one pentacle under his bench, and that beautiful clear sky. It's like, I was talking to a friend just now about when we do, I mean, she does a lot, and I haven't done for ages, but she does these lovely Zoom art classes, live drawing classes, and she was encouraging me to come along, which I might do. And we were both reflecting on how, you know, for all the meditation techniques out there, there's nothing like just really looking and drawing. It clears your brain, like 2 hours of that, and I tell you, it's effortless if you're really into it and you have no judgment. And he's got that same clear sky, clear thought, absolute purity of intent, a bit like the purity of intent of the magician. So it gives me a bit of a bigger picture of you, Nest and Cancer people, that actually your purity of intent comes from an absorption into really enjoying what you do and being really, really good at it. It completely captivates your consciousness. Isn't it lovely when we find things that you can just absorb yourself into? There's so much distraction and moving from pillar to post and advertising and social media and things coming and going from our consciousness. If you can stay rested in that position, of course, it's a very beautiful place to be, and people want what you're going to make. So that's how you're going to achieve prosperity. And what will bring you, so that's the action you need to take, what will bring you prosperity? So I suppose how to achieve would be, what action can you take, and what will bring you is a sort of slightly more passive idea of this, although this is the least passive queen I can think of, the Queen of Wands. Your intuition with that black cat, your will, which is quite akin to the magician, your rule breaking with your legs apart, your kind of masculine stance, bucking what we expect from a queen, your optimism with her sunflowers facing towards the sun, like the sun card, the manifesting, the optimism, the bright sunny disposition. And it's interesting because we say about her that if she was a mum, which, and you know, because all the queens are based in cups, they are all loving cards. She's the one queen that would actually have you, teach you the skill and send you off to do it. She's not going to mollycoddle you. Well, of course, the Queen of Swords would also. I'm not even sure the Queen of Swords would teach you it. She'd just tell you some truth. This one, she's very kind of protective and wildly protective of her pack, but she also expects them to be foraging for themselves if they were little wolves or animals. So that's interesting, isn't it? I'm seeing the pyramids behind her, platform, again, very square. But then the pyramids are more of a tripod, aren't they? Have you seen all that stuff about pyramids in the news? This, I don't know whether it's true, these Italian scientists who found through a kind of scanning something deep underneath. God, wouldn't that be amazing? We find some new technology that we've been not finding for years and years. Anyway, so this is what will bring you prosperity. Being self-serving, creative, intuitive, thinking outside the box, independent, witchy, magical, sexy, all of those things now are going to be very, very lucrative for you. What can counterbalance any negative feelings that you might have? This is an interesting one. The Tower. It says to me that, I mean, really, quite frankly, if you are having negative feelings, they might be based on, they might be ideas that are based on the wrong perception of prosperity. And this would say those ideas are coming down. They're built on the wrong foundation. So it would also say, it would kind of be like the kind of counsel, like, do you know that you will have heard, I'm sure, that that sort of old adage of the guy who breaks his leg and can't go to, and isn't that awful, but then someone comes to recruit him and he can't go to war, so isn't that great, but then because he can't go for war, something bad happens and then something good happens. It's kind of like that, but it's sort of short-circuited, just to say, to counterbalance any negative feelings you have about prosperity. It would be, if you have some disappointments, maybe the answer to your little story, what do you call those? Sort of fable. It's like an Aesop's fable, isn't it? But it's not. That's not the word I'm looking for. But to count your little tale of moralistic tale. That's the wrong feeling, but you know what I mean. Would be, well, don't put lots of thought behind something that's built on the wrong foundations. Just don't bother. Don't build your thought castles or your aspirations based on something. If it's not working and it's come down, let it go, because it wasn't built on the right foundations. It's that kind of energy. And what can bring rewards and positive feedback? Just jumping onto the higher ground. However unprepared, like this chap with his boot and his shoe, and straddling that river, so all the emotion that he's having to understand both sides of. Just jump up on higher ground and fight off all the different wandy needs that you have, because if you persist, even though it looks quite a perilous position, this is saying that in this position, it's saying it will bring rewards and positive feedback by constantly keeping going, not giving up, and fighting for what you want from that higher perspective. It is going to bring rewards and positive feedback. There's a cliff edge, and he's sort of baring his teeth in this one. So there's the cliff edge, and look at his teeth. Maybe you can see. He's sort of almost like got a mouth guard on, or teeth whiteners. And there's two that are very perilously close to something that doesn't want to get knocked in the nads, excuse my language. But, you know, he does feel very sort of threatened. And look, the boot and the shoe and everything. So just keep going. It will bring positive rewards. You might feel as if you're completely under attack, but it's worth keeping on going, getting that higher ground, winning the fight, even if it feels relentless. Keep doing it. And then what will prosperity look like to me? Well, it's interesting because we've got the Tower there. I now understand what this means. So prosperity to you will look like not kicking over something that you've always loved, but reinventing the way you go about it. So it's another 8. So we know you're already really good at something, right? So this is the thing that you've probably always loved, whatever you've got to you've honed your skills on for so long. Prosperity to you will look like reinventing how you do that thing. So that's really interesting. Have you had any ideas about how you can bring a different thing to market or do a version of what you've always done? I mean, look, it can mean completely walking away by the eclipse moon. Well, we've just had our latest eclipse cycle. And also it's a full moon as well, isn't it? So it could, or there's a sense of the full moon. There's a Libra full moon coming up. So it could mean just, you don't need to trash your last job, but you need to just walk away and reinvent yourself. But I don't think so, because how can you achieve your aim is keep going with what you've always done, but now sort of reinvent it slightly. So let's cap this. I'm quite liking this reading. I think I'm going to do a series of those for everybody. Let's cap it with, I wish I was on the outside though. Although it can be, I do shout a bit outside because so maybe I'm hoping I'm keeping my voice low enough. So let's cap it with an enchanted forest. We've got 2. What have we got? Oh, 3. We've got Ace of Challenges. That's the Ace of Swords. 5 of Boons. That's making a nod to you feeling maybe a little bit vulnerable. And 14, the Forge. Is that Temperance? Yeah, it must be 14. Okay, so that's your set of cards. Let's have a look. So 14, the Forge. Let's start with that. Balance, temperance, moderation, alchemy, elemental harmony, strength that comes from enduring suffering. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because we know that you've got to keep going with the kind of suffering that this guy's under. Thinking, oh my God, will this assault ever end? But also, it's something about the Forge, of course, reminds me of the 8 of Pentacles with that guy working away at his coins, because he's sort of in a version of that, I think. In a wide clearing stands an ancient forge where magical swords are made, and we've got the Ace of Challenges, which is the Ace of Swords. Dwarves have been dedicated to this task for as long as dwarf memory goes back, and this is a very long time indeed. All the elements are needed to summon the soul of the sword: earth, fire, air, and water. Who has all the elements? Our wonderful magician that we know is you in the relation. So you've got this special ability of the magician. The raw materials from the earth are activated and transformed by fire, which is kept alive by air. The fiery metals are cooled by pure water from a nearby spring. This process tempers the blades and strengthens them. The swords are worked and shaped upon the anvil and then heated again and cooled again. And when these master craftsmen are satisfied with each blade's balance and strength, the gleaming sword and their hilts are finished with jewels and mystic runes. This is the dwarf's vocation in the highest sense, a spiritual and magical task as well as a practical one. So that might relate to what you do. You might make something practically, but also spiritually, imbue it with some spiritual sort of element. Like, you know, the jewelry company that my family are involved with, it's a small boutique. It's called Thousand Fibers, and they're beautiful pieces, but also I know when they're put together, there's a lot of kind of magical spell making that goes into them, and they're to do with threads that bind people. Really, I'm sure that the intent with which they're sent out is part of their specialness. And this is what you've got going on as well. The forge represents the blending of elements to achieve balance. Time spent in fire must be balanced in water, metaphorically speaking. The blade is stressed by the flames, then blessed by the living water. Combining stressing and blessing results in strength. That's interesting, isn't it? Because there's your stress. And you've got the blessings of the Queen of Wands, the magician, and all of those kind of things. But blessing and stressing. So, you know, keep going with this, because there will be the balance, the other side of it. And then it says a closer look. The swirling magic around the dwarves contains tiny symbols for each element. That's those alchemical symbols in the smoke. I don't know whether you can really see them. Anyway, trust me, they're there. So some sort of alchemy, temperance. Temperance also sort of talks about waiting a little bit, and this mystery of doing the same thing but doing it differently, the stressing but adding your magic. Okay, I love that. Then let's read, well, let's look at this quickly. It's the fact that the Five of Boons is here. It is saying it might have been quite a difficult time for you. It is for lots of people, of course. Things are difficult. Well, let's not say that. Things were challenged a little bit. Poverty, need, feeling excluded from comfort, misery, self-pity. They found some strawberries in the snow that a spiteful stepmother has made them find. And magic fruit can only be found by those who are generous and kind. So I suppose it's saying don't give up on your humanity just because things are a bit stressful now. Remember your heart. So 2 orphan brothers set out from their sad and desolate home to seek their fortune, and now they are lost to the winter forest. It's growing dark. They huddle together in the snow, wrapped in their father's old cloak. The lads have been suffering for so long that they no longer believe that anyone will help them. They're miserable and hopeless and resigned to their fate. But look, just behind them, the enchanted strawberries have risen. Oh, I see, yes. You can see just behind them. That's lovely. from the snow, a long trail of them leading to the snug cottage with warm light streaming through the door. You may think, who could miss something as obvious as strawberries in the snow? But being beaten down and destitute makes it hard to recognise comfort when it's offered. Who knows how many miracles are overlooked? You may be missing one right now. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and look around. Okay, that's good advice, isn't it? That your path might be somewhere that you haven't looked, which would indicate that's why you're being told to sort of do things in a different way, think in a different way. I love that. And then the Ace of Boons. Ace of Spells, rather. It's getting a bit dark suddenly. I can't quite bend down my Ace of Challenges to turn on the light. Intelligence, discernment, insight, focus, communication, strategy, an advantage in a challenge or a conflict. Okay, that's interesting. An advantage in a challenge or conflict. Air element. Pure silver arrow shot straight into the heart releases all evil from an adversary. This can be done on the etheric plane as well. Look at the blue eye of this crow. The enchanted ally for challenges is the white raven. Sorry, raven. That was rude of me calling you a crow. Ravens are birds of fabled intelligence, both worldly and otherworldly. The white raven's particular expertise is strategic communication. He knows when you should speak and when you should be silent. His shrewd eye pierces the heart of the matter. Call upon him only if you really want the truth. He's your spy, your advocate, your battle cry. The white raven says, think and stay alive. The raven's gift to you is a silver arrow that never misses its mark. Part of its enchantment is the arrow itself, but the magic is completed through your focus and the ethics of your motive. If your aim is true, you cannot fail. So again, that's another reminder of your heart and your ethics and your intention, which I think is your superpower. So I know that you could use that Ace of Challenges quite well. That discernment is what's going to find that trail of strawberries that's going to lead you out of any position of lack that you're in at the moment. Okay, right, let's get you... Oops. I'm pulling the microphone cord. Let's get you Shining Triad Tarot. I really like this reading for you. It's really nice. It's very clear. I must credit the woman who taught me this, Annabelle, taught me that. Oh, the Three of Rivers. This is an interesting card. So, Three of Rivers. And this is harmony, friendship, love, both romantic and spiritual. People who in some way join their lifeblood, very deep bonds between people, recognition of mystery and ordinary experience. That's like the mystery and the thing that you make. And it's also like the Three of Pentacles that I was seeing when I saw you forging in the 8, that lines on the walls that remind me of the Three of Pentacles. So there is a sense of cooperation. And the 3, the triple, the sort of sense of this tripod structure. Well, actually, no, that's not true. A pyramid has a square base. What am I talking about? It's just that they look flat there. Okay, this card represents any situation in which people share deep emotion and act in harmony. It recalls ancient cultural practices of sharing blood to acknowledge strong bonds between people. If this card appears in a reading of lovers or two people in a close relationship, then the outer streams signify the two people, and the inner stream is what is created, the third divine energy that's created between them. Many times I've seen this card appear in readings in order to help prepare for a ritual. I don't know why that's turning up in particular. It will become clear to me in a second. It might be talking about getting some support from a third energy, from remembering that there is a community to ask for help, because both the Queen of Wands and the Magician are quite singular, and they might be a bit independent and forget to ask. So it might be a reminder that if you are feeling a bit needy, it's okay to ask for help. Right. Then let's get you an oracle. They're all slightly... squashed under here. I'd left one of the Enchanted Tarot cards out, and it's this one, another Ace, Ace of Wands. It does say to me that you've got a nice new start coming, even if it's a reinvention of what you've got. And here's Sanctuary. So Sanctuary is like the sanctuary that these two are looking for, that lovely home that they need to turn around and look at, which is they're led to by the strawberries. So you might need a bit of a sanctuary at the moment. So that might be part of your reading that we need to acknowledge. It might have been quite difficult, and know that there is one. And now I had a strong feeling that I should pull you. We're going to cap it with some more small tarot at the end, but let's get your Divine Muses Oracle. Muse of Dance. Straight, they're quite difficult to see because they're so dark. She's made images from old pictures. That's lovely. Right, Muse of Dance, and I don't know them, so I have to read you a little précis. 213. I won't read much. We're nearly at the end. It's lovely. I think it's clear what you need to do. Visual art, painting, sculpture. No, we're on Muse of, that's Muse of Art. Maybe you are an artist. Maybe that's why I read that by mistake. Muse of Dance, rhythm and movement. It's time to get moving into a rhythm with your body. Turn on some music and allow the body to be inspired by the cadence and beat of the sound. Follow your body's lead and invite the movement to be big or small without judgment or worry if you're doing it wrong. You're not. Feel the rhythm in your body. Let this be a space where you can feel healing. Relax, breathe through it, have fun. Okay, that might be talking about de-stressing. Let me see. It's calling to be channeled through you, whether you're dancing for fun, exercise, or therapeutic benefits. Maybe it's something to do with what you do. This muse may be asking that you take dance to the next level. Are you meant to dance professionally or perhaps even teach it? If dance is your profession, perhaps the muse is asking you to think about how you use your talents as a healing tool for others. Maybe movement of some sort. Maybe whoever's tuning into this does have a practice of movement. It could be any kind of modality. And if it isn't that, then I would say just enjoy the movement to de-stress a bit. And let's get some final words from the Tiny Tarot. Yeah, so that's interesting. We've got that Three of Pentacles. So now you can see what I was talking about, the lines behind him. I don't know whether it shows up in this one actually, because it's so small. Barely, but that wall has got the same lines as the Eight of Pentacles. So that says, again, remember that that sense of the third energy that when you join with someone else might be very useful for you actually, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, because it comes with this, which is feeling a bit overwhelmed. It's not dissimilar to the Seven of Wands where you were fighting off all of that energy. And then another three, the Three of Wands. So it is saying the three is important, okay, to stop that feeling of overwhelm. It's what I thought. You do need to look a bit further afield and find someone else where the third energy is going to help support you. And what have we got right at the end? No. Oh, yeah. Okay, lovely. 3 cards. We've got this again. You feeling very beleaguered. It's wanting to talk about that. Feeling as if this is a Pyrrhic victory if you win it, or nobody's going to be happy. There's so much work going on. There's so much conflict. So don't get stuck in the energy of that sort of conflict and getting all adrenalized because there's so much to do and you feel kind of slightly kind of adrenal and snappy. Try and stay in your Empress, because you are creating like she does. Might have something to do with 9 months, 9 weeks, 9 days because of her pregnancy sort of association. But I think what it's saying is you're making something very beautiful. You could well be an artist. Certainly you're very, very creative. And yes, we acknowledge that there are some hard times, some battles, some sort of things that you might find quite difficult to manage. So look for someone else to help create that third stream of support. Look for that sanctuary. But also you have all the goods. So that's lovely. See you again.